Actually, there was no friction between us. What happened is, I understand the present change, change in the political scenario of the country after the March 8 election. I think there is a need for a young, vibrant, dynamic leadership in MIC. I think we need to embrace this change if we still want to remain relevant to the community. So on that basis, I've told him that I am going to contest for the deputy presidency, and there was total agreement all this while. But come May, I don't know, there was a change in mind, and they wanted to remain, remain neutral, and this remained as what they were, what is at present, which I feel will not help us anymore. So I stood firm in my decision to go for the number 2, because I think when the change comes, a much more dynamic leadership has to be established for MIC to remain relevant. On that basis, I stood by what I felt is right. And I think that is the most right, that's the correct thing to do at this moment. And because of that, maybe they might not be very happy with my decision, but I'm not really interested in that, because I'm more interested in staying relevant to the community, and the party must be relevant, the leadership must be relevant to the community. If that change cannot be, I think that change can be brought about. If that change cannot be brought about, then I don't know where we are heading towards. I don't feel betrayed, because in politics you must be brave enough to face anything. In politics, if you are fearful and you are very dependent on something, I think you can never succeed. You can never lead a community. We are talking about leading a community, and when you lead a community, I think if anything comes by that is favorable to you, accept it. But that doesn't mean that you must be dejected. You must be brave. You must move ahead with a lot of bravery and also with determination. And then in my case, I'm not dejected, because I regard this as a greater challenge, and if I really make it in this challenge, this is what is going to give me the real strength in politics.
Now that you've always been seen as Sami Velu's man throughout your entire political career in MIC, now that you've branched off on your own, do you think you can still stand on your own 2 feet without his backing?
I am very, very determined, and I feel very strongly about it. And as I said, I told you earlier, this is what is going to decide the future. If I can get the mandate, the support of the people, that is going to give me the real strength to lead this community and party in the future. I think we are talking about new leadership. To remain relevant, I think the society looks for some young, dynamic leadership. And given my advantage in those areas and my experience, I'm sure that will definitely be advantageous to me. And they are all people who had been in that positions. People could see what they have done, and at the same time, I had been I was in a low position. They also know what I have done, and they know my style of leadership. And I think the leaders or the grassroots leaders can assess what would be good for the future of the party and the community. There are many things that are going on now. I think there is a lot of intimidation. There's also a lot of money politics going on, which I hear. Although I don't practice that, but I do hear. But I'm talking about change. I do not want to subscribe to all these ideas. I don't want to. When I talk about change, I'm talking about some new ways. People must genuinely support. Only then we can lead the community. If there is no genuine support, I think we are wasting our time there. Yeah, because sometimes when we go and see the delegates, they are actually threatened not to see us. There's a lot of things, sometimes not to express the support. When they express support, they come under a lot of intense pressure. And all these things actually does not go well for the present generation. This will not look well in the eyes of the public, in the community at large. I have, through my 49 years of my life, I think I've never been brought up in that manner. My family has never taught me all those things. I myself, I'm not too sure who belongs to which caste. I really don't know that. I have never practiced caste politics in my life. I really don't know to which caste each one belongs unless they themselves explain to me. I have never done that, although many people who claim to say that, they are the ones who practice it. But they put the blame on other people who are actually very innocent in this field. And I think eventually the best people who can decide is the public. The public knows who preaches caste, who preaches money politics. One can go and say, I don't do this, somebody is doing it, but at the end of the day, each and every single individual in MIC, or also among the public, they know for a matter of fact who preaches all these things.
So are you saying that the president is one of the
I don't, let the people decide. They all know. Our people are well informed as to what is going. I'm not saying pinpointing any particular individual.
But do you agree that this practice is rampant in MIC?
It does arise during elections, but I think this will not be good for the party. When you talk about Malaysian Indian Congress, I think we should represent all Indians irrespective of their caste. I think this is our greatest challenge, is to make sure that we don't work along caste lines. We should work along the racial line, that is our Indians, and we should try to integrate and unite these Indians. We start talking about caste, I think we are not going to forever we are not going to unite this Indian community. It is, wouldn't say rampant, it surfaces during elections. During elections you can see it's quite rampant, but after that it disappears. But again, during election time, people tend to go along those lines. I think this is not a healthy trend for us. I think it all boils back to the leaders. We should always avoid ourselves from being involved in this kind of political campaigns. We should just go on our own merits, what I can do, what are the changes I can bring for the community, how I can improve the lots of the community. If we go along those lines, I think we can unite.